$800 a minute. $800 a minute. That's what the bull was quoted me when I, asked him about, doing the AI version to the Black Joy Galaxy. And he said it without even flinching. He was just like, it's just $800 a minute. And I was like, okay. So now, to his credit, several years ago, I rapped to film director Nick Assanio. That's my man. And at that time, Nick was like, yeah, bro, it's like that. It's pretty steep. So a few things transpired, once I heard that, once it kind of like I internalized what was going on. I knew at that point that I was going to be on this journey, sort of kind of like in spaces and places where I was the only person who sort of looked like me, which is not a problem. I kind of dealt with that my whole life, so that was cool. So Kyle Moore and I, we already knew what time it was. Kyle and I have been talking about this, kind of going back and forth between, getting started on Ghost of Justice and wrapping up Black Joy Galaxy AI version. Now, Lee and Twana, Lee Evans and Twana Thomas, they went on the website and looked. I think brother Richard Murray went on there and checked it as well. So it was kind of like, at first when he said it, I was just like, oh, okay, man. Then we found the website and it's listed right there, $800 a minute. So what I thought at that moment was like, you know what? He learned it from somebody. There's gotta be data somewhere that exists that will give me some insight to what I should be doing. I'm a researcher, I'm a reader, you know what I mean? So at that point, it became like, all right, I'm gonna do this, okay? So I set out on the process, on the journey to do it. The young ladies who I was teaching in global studies at the school, they'd already kind of gave me like the mandate, like, Dr. K, you gotta tell this story about how Black people get reparations and how we come into a place where we have healthy eating and sustainability, solar panels and, all this great stuff. And I was like, okay. And the one young lady was like, yeah, you gotta make it a Black STEM John. And I was like, a Black STEM John? I'm like, I like that. I may have to trademark that along with trademarking the Black Joy Galaxy, which is a whole nother episode. I'll tell you all about that, because that was a process too. I learned a lot, from the legal aspect of it and intellectual property, but that's for another day. So listen, I started out the process. Like, it was crazy. It was difficult because there was nothing. I didn't have a roadmap. There was nothing there. I knew that what I was doing was culturally relevant. I knew that I wanted to take AI. I wanted to create characters that could give us a story of like the seminal atrocities that occurred in the past. So that's why we say in the film, we're trademarking F2. Never forget the door of no return. There's an episode in which, we take you, we utilize AI characters to take you back to that 1619, even prior to that. But for the most part, you see the transition. And now, what I will say is this: when I first started out, what I was doing looked like trash. It looked horrible, and it was so hard. It still is so hard. Like, I don't want to all right, I'm gonna keep it being with you. After doing this now for almost about six months to a year, I understand why that dude charged $800 a minute. Like, hands down, I understand why he charges that, because it's so detailed. Like, I can do this animation because you're syncing the words and you're trying to get the inflections just right, and you're telling a story. Now, I see a lot of awesome AI things, but it's just sort of kind of like people just vibing with it, giving their artistic aesthetic and carrying on. But I'm coming from it from a whole culturally relevant perspective. So kind of like you stepping out, kind of providing a compass for young and up and coming people who want to get into this AI vibe and tell it from a culturally centered perspective, right? So I had to learn the platforms. I had to learn the applications. I went to the clinics and went to the spaces. I had to pay money for it. And again, I was the only person who looked like me in the spaces, but that was cool because it was starting to click. It was starting to click. You know, I was taking some things, you know, back and letting people look at it, and you know, a few times people were like, you know, yeah, you're getting a little closer on that. Yeah, that's starting to look. But then there was a certain point where it was like, bam, got it. You know, when the music, like the music that I was creating, the story, the characters, it all started to come together. And so at this point, you know, it's like these episodes. Now there's one other thing I want to address, and that is there are a few people who came to me and be like, you know, bro, Rick, these episodes, there's a lot of cussing in a few of these episodes, you know, what's with the cussing? Like, for me, if I was writing this story just from my perspective, you know, as a Gen X, probably wouldn't have the cussing in there. But these stories are designed to engage millennials, Gen Z, and alphas. And in their world, and the way they vibe, is like, them words that them characters are using are just like, might as well be like Mother Goose stories. You know what I mean? So they're engaging, like, those are hooks. Like the episode 1 where you see Xena Starflare, yo, Space Boogie, it's some ill-ish happening. Like, that's a vibe where a Gen Z person will be like, yo, that's crazy. And I'm like asking Gen Z people who, you know, to look, and they're like, I don't see the problem with the language. What language? So right there, I'm just like, okay, you know, where it's a generational vibe right there. So all that to say is, like, don't let that trip you up, because as the stories progress, you're going to see that. Remember when the young lady told me, Dr. K, you got to make it a black STEM drawing. You're going to see that these stories take you into places where you like, man, I watched the AI series, Black Droid Galaxy. I learned about aquaponics today. I learned about solar panel houses today. Like I learned about life sustainability today. So all of these things play into the making of a content that is able to help folks who are looking into the future, and also looking at sustainability right now, food and healthy living, and how to expand the life, and how to enrich your life with quality sustainability. So these are the things that are shape the groundwork, or the stories of the Black Droid Galaxy center around. So if you go to like right now, if you go to the YouTube, or if you go to the top, you know what I mean, and you search up Black Droid Galaxy, the first episode is posted there, right? And it's posted there in a way by which folks can lend comment, drop their comments in there, and and kind of give themselves an insight to be like, this is like mad different, but I can kind of see where this is going. So VIVIFY TV, I know you hear me talk about the lessons all the time. I'll talk about the lessons. I'll continue to talk about the lessons because they're just as relevant. But VIVIFY TV right here, on the talk, on the gram, and on the tube, what have you, we're giving you the stories behind the making of all of this. So, and the upcoming episodes, I go through like a process of how I kind of like put all the a character together, and we like, I've never seen a black AI music video before. You know what I mean? Celestia gonna get you high tonight. Celestia gonna get you right tonight.
Celestia gonna get you right tonight. Sending you to hell on a one-way first class non-stop flight. Yeah, it's that ticket you can't fight. 7 days high, then it's endless night.
I've never seen anything like that. Have you? Until now, you see it now, right? Of course you do. Listen, it's the Boss Doc. Thank you so much for taking time to check me out, and I'm vibing with you, giving you the stories behind the hard work. And let me tell you something. I have respect for my man from the jump, because he was like he gave his price. He was like, it's $800 a minute. And now the question becomes, like Brother Kyle asked me the other day, hey, yo, now the question becomes, are you going to charge $800 a minute? Like, would you charge $800 a minute? Do you see the value? Do you understand the value and the work that's being put into this? And so it's like, yeah, you got to do that. You got to do that. But for right now, as it stands, this is just an exemplar for young and up and coming, young brothers and sisters who are like, yo, Dr. K, show me how you do that animation, man. I'm trying to get down too. You know what I mean? So that's, the overarching theme is always culturally relevant education. At this point now, it's just kind of like African-centered 21st century technological education. AI-driven education, right? Big words, right? You know what I'm saying? But when you look at episode 1, when you go there to the tube or you see it on the top, you'll get an idea. Be like, yeah, I see where my man is coming from with this. Anyway, thank you so much for checking us out. Listen, until the next you and I meet, keep your mindset global, your love universal. Never forget the door of no return. And by all means, stay vivified.